I started this project 17 years ago. It was really an outgrowth of my own background in music. I grew up with a mom who was a classical pianist and a music educator, and I grew up playing piano and keyboards and synthesizers, and was always interested in music technology. Had home studios that I think in many ways were the background or the foundation of my experience that brought me to work with Yoko Ono in creating the John Lennon Educational Tour Bus. So the bus travels across the United States and Europe, providing young people with free opportunities to create music. In the United States, we have a great problem with funding for music and arts education. And that, in part, I think, was one of the major reasons why the Lennon Bus was created and became very successful, because communities, as soon as they found out about the bus, began to write to us and to call us asking for visits by the bus. And this included students themselves, parents, teachers, the communities themselves in the form of governmental organizations, the mayor of Boston's office, or the city of Los Angeles, the county, Dade County in Florida, South Florida, but dozens and dozens and dozens of communities have asked for the bus to visit them, and that's really because of the lack of financial support for programs in schools. And of course, over the years, I've become more and more aware of some of the reasons for this and some of the real pitfalls in denying young people arts and music education. We've now really proven scientifically that music and arts education is something that is extremely important for a young person's development, and that in an age of decreasing graduation rates in high schools in the United States, the music and arts programs have proven to increase the likelihood that a young person would actually graduate from high school. So music education, in my opinion, equals high school graduation, and a good education is probably the best foundation to combat against some of the dangers of drug abuse and violence, gang-related activities, poverty. Young people who are engaged in music and arts education seem more likely to have jobs that provide themselves and their families with a reasonable means of support, and therefore allow the family and the relationships between family members to be strong. So that was, I think, part of the success of the Lennon Bus in Europe, was learning and responding to some of those challenges. And we also have learned and really feel that it's important for everyone to engage with music, because it's a life-giving force. You know, there are so many people who love music around the world, who believe in the power of music, not just making music, but of course listening to music. And that's another piece of why I think the Lennon Bus is important. It's a great entry point for talking to students. Most people, if you ask them, most students, if you ask them, would say that they love music. They love listening to music. They like following their favorite musical artists. And you know, that's something that obviously has its ups and its downs, has positive and negatives to it, because you know, of the connection to the mainstream culture that the music frequently is coming from. But we also see increasingly, and I think this is a good thing, with the internet and the proliferation of really multicultural music experiences, that it's a great learning, and it's a great way for young people especially to connect with other ideas, with other cultures, When I was growing up, frequently you would listen to the one radio station that played that one kind of music that you were supposed to be listening to. So, if you were a white suburban kid, you were listening to white rock music. And if you lived in the cities and you were African American, then you listened to that black station. And of course, nowadays, everything is really been brought together so that you could have, and I see it all the time, young people who, love Jay-Z, they love the Beatles, they are open to jazz music, and they're learning about Indian ragas. And I think that is one of the most hopeful things that we have about music, that it brings the world together, that it provides young people with a really easy and enthusiastic way to connect with each other. And when you connect with other cultures, you then get exposed to other ideas. And hopefully, and this is really the ultimate mission of the bus, hopefully in learning about other people and learning about their cultures and then their ideas, we give ourselves a fighting chance for peace and for a lasting peace. And that brings back the connection to John Lennon. This is an incredible studio that we're on here on the John Lennon bus, and it would be fantastic just as an extraordinary piece of technology. But the thing that makes it the most special is the connection to John and to John and Yoko as fantastic and iconic peace activists, and they are inspiring and continue to inspire generations to come together, to let go of differences, to notice similarities, and to build a future, hopefully, that will be free from war and poverty and pestilence. And I think that is ultimately the greatest strength of music. It's a very magical thing. While science can show us what its purpose and power is, there's also something that remains really magical about music, and what we can do with it and where we can go with it is something that is also left up to individuals. You can play music by yourself, you can connect with other individual musicians, and then of course you can also engage with other musicians together in a setting that may be a small quartet or band or orchestra. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why music has always been one of the most beautiful and driving forces in the world today. So I encourage everybody to get involved with music, to support music programs for their young people in their home communities. And I guess I should back up for a moment too and say that, I just spoke a bit about the United States, have a lot more experience at this point with the realities of the United States and what the challenges are and the difficulties are there. We are learning about how we can be of best use here in Europe. We started Lennon Bus Europe this past May. It's now October. We've met an extraordinary group of people from across Europe, but it's still the beginning, and we're still really just learning, getting our toe wet in the water, so to speak. We're really just learning about how to use the Lennon Bus to be a best support to the young people of Europe. So please stop by and check out lennonbus.org, and you can see all of the work that we do on board, and we welcome any comments or suggestions or ideas for new programs that we can use the bus for. Thank you.